Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with my week 7 team preparation video for the UCL. I of course am coach of the Bronx Beartics, and this week we are taking on Shady Penguin and the New York Mankeys. Now, little information for you guys. Basically, Shady just defeated the only other undefeated team in the league. I am 6-0 as we speak right now, and Shady actually just defeated Manaphy, who was 5-0 prior to last week. So Shady has some big wins. I just said big wings. It's funny because he likes Delibird, and he's a penguin. No? Okay. Penguins are actually one of my favorite. I was gonna say Pokemon, but animals. Yeah, so I'm definitely expecting Shady to want to win this. Not just want to win this, but he definitely has a new drive to do well in this. But yeah, if you guys are new to my team preparation videos or how I make my teams for the UCL or any tournament I'm really in this format anyway, because I have been in stuff in this format before, basically I create a team of 6 with a friend. This week I actually created my team with Mega Mogwai, or Miguel, so I want to give him a shout out. Thank you, bro. It was very fun. I very much love building with somebody than just by myself. I find it a lot more fun. You get a lot more stuff done, and 2 heads are always better than 1, and in Dokshio's case, 3 heads. But yeah, so as I was saying, I like to create a team of 6 that can take on any combination of 6 that my opponent can bring. So if Shady brings Tornadus-T, Mew, Mega Pinsir, Milotic, Infernape, Blissey, I want to make sure that my team of 6 can take that on. Likewise, if he brings Tornadus-T, Skuntank, Shiftry, Gramble, Mega Pinsir, and Milotic, my team of 6 can take that on. Now, the reason I do that, and I stress that I believe this is the best way to honestly build in this format, is because it would really suck if I was like, okay, Shady's definitely bringing this, this, and this versus me, and I prepped for 11 out of 12 mons. I didn't prep for Gramble, and then he ends up bringing Gramble, and I have no way of dealing with it, and it just blows me back. So it's like, why? I just try to make myself have the smallest chance of you know, losing. Obviously, Pokemon isn't just team preparation, but I feel like in this league, team preparation goes a long way. Having a great team, having a defensive backbone, having offensive pressure, having switch-ins, having a way to deal with whatever your opponent can have goes a long way in this league. And of course, it goes also playing and luck, as in hacks and missing, and you know, that's all classified under hacks, crits, all that stuff definitely plays a role. But I also think those things can also sort of be controlled, and by that I mean, I'm sorry that I'm just talking about this, but I just felt like saying this. By that I mean that I always say as a joke, if I didn't want to miss, or if my opponent didn't want to miss, he could use Ember, and obviously that's a joke, you know, it's a running gag, which is still makes me laugh whenever I think about it and whenever I say it. But obviously I can choose moves that don't miss. If I don't want to miss Fire Blast, I go for Flamethrower, which hits. If I don't want to miss Hurricane, Air Slash is a bit more accurate. Things like that. So there are some things that you do have control over. Obviously, even something has 95% accuracy, it still has that 5% chance to miss, and moves do miss. We already know that. And obviously crits are 6.25% chances, but I also feel that if you play well, you can put yourself in a position where a crit wouldn't matter, meaning that if I have a turn that I have maybe Fabio out, as you can see I have Fabio on the team, Mega Ampharos, if I have it out versus his Milotic, and yes, I can knock him out with Volt Switch, but if he gets a crit Ice Beam or a Freeze, he can knock me out. Why not just switch out into my Manaphy, not even risk that crit or that Freeze, and basically have Scald to Thaw, and then Manaphy can sit up all over it. But that's just something I just wanted to say. I felt that that is something that some people do need to hear. But yeah, anyway, let's go right into the team building. But let me just edit this real quick, as I want to put this, you know, in the corner. That way you guys can still see his team. But I also don't want it to be in the way of the, you know, just showing the sets and everything. But the first Pokemon I wanted to bring this week was Fabio. Now, I had already decided upon bringing Fabio when seeing team preview, as he does have a Mega Pinsir, Milotic, Jolteon, threats like that, and basically Fabio can eat up hits from every single one of those Pokemon. Ice Beam isn't going to be doing too much for Milotic unless he is offensive, and if he's offensive, he's a lot easier to beat, actually. This can eat up hits from Jolteon. It can eat up Thunderbolts. It times 4 resists Electric Stab, Electric attacks, and also this can eat up the Flying Stab attacks from Mega Pinsir. Now, I decided to bring the original Fabio set, Volt Switch, Dragon Pulse, Rest, Sleep, Talk. This giving me the longest longevity, basically, the longest longevity, but basically the most chance at survival. I can rest up when needed. I actually rest up versus the majority of his team. Skuntank and Shift Tree both do crap to me. Knockoff doing maybe 37% max, I think less even. And Skuntank can barely touch me. This can rest up versus my Lodic. This can rest up versus Blissey and stall it out. Even Mew depending on the set. And Jolteon. Now the spread I chose was enough defense. That way I can take Stealth Rock damage as well as return and an Earthquake from Mega Pinsir. I'm pretty positive he's going to be bringing Earthquake. Like if he brings Mega Pinsir, it's going to be an SD, Quick Attack, or Faint. Because both of them have priority. Faint would have priority over my Ice Shard for my Weavile, so that's something to take into account. And it would be Return or Frustration, probably Return, because it's easier to make Happiness than, you know, make it hate you, I would think. I don't know. And then his last move would be Earthquake. Normally, you know, you could see close combat or Earthquake in that slot. But versus my team, he'd definitely bring Earthquake just because it hits my Mega Ampharos, it hits my Rhyperior, my Rhydon, sorry. And basically, it hits everything. It hits my Cobalion. Basically, it hits everything paired with Return for either super effective or just a lot of damage. And yeah, so the spread I decided to choose was, like I said, I wanted to be able to switch into Stealth Rock, switch into a Return, and then also take an Earthquake after that. So the max damage he can do with Return plus Earthquake is, and this is if he gets absolute max on both of them, it is 85%. When I come in on Stealth Rock, I am at 88%. So I can 100% live, and Volt Switch with no special attack investment does like 95 minimum to like 112. Obviously this is taken into account if he doesn't have any HP. He could very well bring some HP on him, but it's a huge chance for me to knock him out. And now I actually put some Spadef on this. If I didn't say I built this team with Miguel, I don't remember if I said that, but I did build this team with Miguel. It was very fun. But I put some Spadef on it, that way I am not too KO'd by timid choice specs Jolteon's HP Ice. And now the reason I stress timid is because if he wants to bring Modest, which I don't see him bringing, he knows that my Weavile will be able to outspeed him. He knows that my Tornadus can outspeed a Modest Jolteon, so I really do not see him bringing a Modest Jolteon this game. But Fabio is very defensive. As you can see, he has 185 special attack without any investment, which is ridiculous. Fabio being able to take, honestly, any hit from my opponent. It could probably even take an Earthquake from Landorus at full. But yeah, now the next person I wanted to bring up, the next Pokemon rather, was Zeph, and I decided to bring my Life Orb Weavile. Now, Weavile checks Landorus-T if it is a Choice Scarf variant. It checks Pinsir with Ice Shard. It knocks it out after Stealth Rock. It can check Mew. The Mew is very tricky, guys. I want to stress that Mew is extremely tricky. I have to scout for whatever set it is going to be, just because Mew can literally run any TM, any HM in the game. I expect him to bring maybe a Choice Scarf set with like Drain Punch, Wild Charge for my Tornadus, maybe an Agility set, though I think that's more easily handled. I think Choice Scarf and Agility are more easily handled. But another thing I expect could be a defensive Cobra Berry set, that way he can live my knockoff and then burn me with Will-O-Wisp. Those are all sets that I do see him bring. But this week we were bringing SD Weavile. Now, originally I was going to have Poison Jab over Swords Dance just because it does hit Gramble, but Miguel actually suggested Swords Dance, and I really like the idea the more I thought about it. Because let's say Shady has Landorus-T out on the field, and he needs Landorus-T to beat my team. Let's say it's Choice Scarf Landorus. If I go for SD, like if I bring out Weavile, chances are he's going to switch. Obviously, I'll weigh the pros and cons of if I want to go for SD or if I want to go right for Ice Shard, depending on if I can knock things out. But basically, if I get to +2, and the fact that I'm actually adamant because I do outspeed Infernape by 1 point, and there's no point going Jolly this game just because his fastest Pokemon is Jolteon, and it does outspeed me no matter what. So, obviously, I'm saying his fastest Pokemon just in terms of base speed, not just in case they have Choice Scarfs or anything like that. So, and also +2 Life Orb Ice Shard actually knocks out Jolteon from full, like all the time. I do expect him to run maybe a little bit of HP on his Jolteon because all he needs is enough speed to outspeed my Weavile by like 1 point. So maybe he'll have like 24 speed HP investment on Jolteon. But either way, +2 Life Orb Ice Shard does knock him out. But like I was saying, let's say he has Landorus out and he needs to call it back, and he goes up to my Lodic predicting my Ice Shard. If I SD up on the switch, max defense, max HP my Lodic, does not like +2 life orb knockoff. It actually does 93% minimum to a max defense, max HP, bold Milotic. So I have a good chance of knocking that thing out. If I have Stealth Rock up, it will go down, and Weavile can just clean his team. It doesn't matter if he has a Cobra Berry Mew. It's a +2 life orb knockoff. It will knock it out. This thing punishes Shift Tree with the Ice Shard, as well as Icicle Crash. It punishes Jolteon with Ice Shard doing over 50%. Like I said, Skuntank will be knocked out by +2 Icicle Crash. Mega Pinsir will be knocked out by +2 Ice Shard. Like I said, Adamant Ice Shard does about 60% to Mega Pinsir, I believe, minimum, something like that. It knocks out and revenge kills Tornadus-T. He has like 1 or 2 Pokemon that really can switch in to my Weavile. Maybe 3 Pokemon if you consider Regirock, but that would be Gramble and Infernape. Girder is also another Pokemon, definitely an option, but it won't be appreciating a knockoff, getting rid of its Eviolite, so none of these Pokemon appreciate losing their items. But yeah, that's why I wanted to bring Weavile. It definitely revenge kills and checks the majority of his team. Now, the next Pokemon I wanted to bring was the captain of the Bronx Beartics, my Manaphy. Now, as you can see by the set, I am running the almost max HP, max defense, Rest, Calm Mind, Rain Dance, Scald set. Now, you'll understand why I actually brought this set over an offensive set as we go on in the the video. But basically, this set can absorb status just like my hard body can, my Reuniclus. I wanted to bring a max defense, max HP set just because Tornadus-T is really a threat. While it cannot switch into basically any of my Pokemon, it really can't switch into any of my Pokemon. Hard body punishes it, Big Bird punishes it, this punishes it, Weavile punishes it. Even Fabio's Dragon Pulse is like a 2-hit KO on Scarf Landorus. And as you can see, my Rhydon, later on you guys will see that doesn't really have any... it doesn't really like switching into my team, but I don't like switching into him. I could have brought Claydol, but Claydol did not appreciate U-turn or knockoff, and of course, knocking off its leftovers, it has no form of recovery. But yeah, so I wanted to bring this set because it can honestly plow through his team. After a few Calm Mind boosts, even Jolteon's Thunderbolt won't be doing too much, and because I do have Fabio, and I do have Rhydon in the back, as you guys can see, might not even go for Thunderbolt, but this can take on any variant of Infernape, even Choice Banded Infernape, with the combination of Fabio, Beartics, and Hard Body. So basically, Mega Ampharos, Manaphy, and Hard Body. If it's a Choice Banded Infernape, if it goes for Flare Blitz, this takes nothing from it. This takes nothing from it. If it goes for Close Combat, Hard Body takes nothing from it. And basically, these defensive sets allow me to take Skuntank's hits, take Gramble's hits, take Regirock's hits, take Infernape's hits, take Landorus' hits, and this actually has huge potential to sweep his team. I do want to keep in mind, obviously Rain Dance is 5 turns, so I don't want to be resting with the hydration on a turn that Rain ends and I won't be able to wake up. But yeah, this actually can do work versus his team. Obviously, I do expect him to bring his Milotic this game. Just because it does deal with my Manaphy to an extent. If he wants to bring Blissey, that's fine. The majority of my team can deal with Blissey anyway. As we keep going, you guys will see that. And this set can do really well. I didn't want to bring offensive just because he has Jolteon to revenge kill. He has Pinsir to do a lot of damage. But basically, Pinsir cannot switch into this Mon just because of the chance of 30% chance of Scald. I can take a plus... I can take a return from Pinsir, not +2. I don't think I can take +2. Pinsir is hella strong. And this can just switch into Skuntank and Gramble and things like that with relative ease. Obviously, if he runs Miracle Milotic, which is something he has done in the past and something I still could see him doing, especially to try and catch my Fabio on a Volt Switch. Though obviously, I'd most likely go out to Weavile because obviously Miracle is a Psychic move, so that wouldn't work. And after a Volt Switch, a knockoff will knock him out. If he's special defensive, knockout will knock him off. A knockoff will knock him out after a Volt Switch. If he's physically defensive, it will pretty much do the same thing. So either way, it's a win-win for me right there. Obviously, if he goes for Scald, which would be an interesting play on Fabio, it could be scary. But yeah, definitely this thing could beat Blissey. Obviously, it depends on the Blissey set. If he brings Calm Mind Blissey, that could definitely beat my Manaphy. But every other variant of Blissey is beat. Infernape is beat, and Tornadus-T is checked. So the next Pokemon on my team is my Big Bird. Pretty much a staple on a lot of my teams. Tornadus-T. Now, Assault Vest Tornadus is just a great pivot for anything. If he brings Special Infernape, if he brings Milotic, and I don't want something else getting burnt or something's low, even Jolteon fails to knock me out with Choice Specs Thunderbolt, and I can U-turn on out versus it. Now, the set I'm running is Hurricane, Icy Wind, U-turn, and Air Slash. Now, I was debating running knockoff on this thing, but I really want to keep my Weaviles I really want to keep Weavile's knockoff as strong as possible. Obviously, if you knock off an item, knockoff does do less. So I really want to keep it as strong as possible. Hurricane, 100% OHKO's Mega Pinsir. Obviously, I have to hit Icy Wind. Now, as you can see by my spread, I do have 244 HP, 108 defense, and 156 speed. The 156 speed allows me to outspeed max speed Infernape by 1 point, which is the only other Pokemon besides what was I trying to say? Which is the only other Pokemon besides Jolteon that I really want to outspeed. It also lets me outspeed Mega Pinsir. Now, the 244 HP and 108 defenses mean that I 100% live in Adamant Choice Scarf Landorus T's Stone Edge. So if he wants to bring Choice Scarf Landorus T and he leads off with it and I lead off with this Big Bird, I can stay in, take a Stone Edge, Icy Wind him, lowering his speed, doing about 70-80% to him with the Icy Wind, and then I can U-turn out because chances are he already knows that the speed drop will allow me to outspeed him, and I can just safely U-turn out. It's not even a bad play because I do have a rock resist on my team in my Rhydon. Hard Body would take any hit anyway. Even Manaphy could take a Stone Edge. I wanted Air Slash just in case Infernape was a bit lower or even Pinsir took a bit of damage and I didn't have to risk Hurricane. Obviously, Air Slash is a bit more accurate. A lot more accurate actually than Hurricane. And then U-turn just to keep up momentum. I figured with Icy Wind I'd definitely be forcing switches. Could be a little bit scary. It could definitely be scary if he brings competitive Milotic. That's something I do want to keep into account or keep in mind. But I think Tornadus is just my best lead in general for this game because if he leads out with Jolteon, I can safely U-turn out. Chances are he'll HP Ice. Even if he Volt Switches or Thunderbolts, I will be able to live a Specs one just because of my Assault Vest as well as my HP investment. And while Knockoff could be very useful for Mew since I have no idea what Mew he'd be running this game, and knocking off its potential Cobra Berry or whatever it had for my Weavile would be nice. I would much rather have the Air Slash to hit Infernape and also to hit Pinsir. This can take, with this spread, it can take a +2 Pinsir's Quick Attack after Stealth Rock and, you know, reliably revenge kill it. Now, the next Pokemon on my team is my Hard Body, my Reuniclus. Now, as you can see, I am running the Calm Mind set yet again with Recover, Calm Mind, Psyshock, and Toxic. Now, before you say, well, why aren't you running Signal Beam to OHKO Shift Tree, or why aren't you running like HP Ground and try and catch Skuntank? Those are all options that cross my mind, guys. They did cross my mind. But the reason I wanted Toxic is because if he does bring Haze Milotic or Miracle, and I Toxic it with this Reuniclus, and he doesn't have Heal Bell on his team, granted Granbull and Blissey can have Heal Bell / Aromatherapy respectively, even Mew could have it. If I Toxic that Milotic, my Manaphy sets up for it for days. I can literally stall it out with Manaphy, which is why I brought this set. Fabio can stall out anything if they're toxic, bar Lanners, and if he goes for Earthquake, I believe, like I said, I can live a hit and I can rest it off. But I'll obviously be calcing during the game just to make sure. But Toxic allows me to outstall anything on his team, specifically that Milotic. If he brings Calm Mind Blissey, I can Toxic it. Obviously, though, Calm Mind Hard Body, Calm Mind Reuniclus does beat Calm Mind Blissey simply because Psyshock hitting on the physical defensive side. The only thing he has to worry about from Blissey is a potential freeze from Ice Beam if he does bring Calm Mind Ice Beam, or a Para from Thunderbolt, because Paras can be very, very crucial, as we all know. But Toxic was my move of choice just because I have reliable checks to Skuntank as well as Shift Tree. Fabio takes on both with ease. Manaphy can take on Skuntank, and as you can see, I do have my Rhydon in the back to take on Skuntank as well. So I really wanted to bring this. I think it does have plenty of sweeping potential alongside Manaphy, especially with the Toxic. Like I said, Toxic being able to wear down Milotic, no matter what set it is, unless it's like the Restock variant. But even then, who cares? Just be stalled down and be beaten by Ampharos. But yeah, I wanted to run Toxic on this thing. It also is my go-to switching for Mew. So I don't want to go directly, obviously, into Weavile because it could burn me, can go for Aura Sphere. So like, let's say he leads Mew and I lead Tornadus. Obviously, I'd U-turn out, probably go onto my Reuniclus, and he would not see Toxic coming. He would not see Toxic coming. He won't like to go for knockoff if he has that. I'll be able to talk him, obviously, because of Magic Guard. I will get poisoned because of Synchronized, but that'll just help me. That means he can't paralyze me with Jolteon's Thunderbolt, or he can't freeze me with potential Ice Beams from Milotic and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why I wanted to run Toxic on this thing. It helps me check Mew, helps me check Milotic, and helps support the Manaphy sweep. And the last Pokemon on my team is my Rhydon. Now, this thing is my Stealth Rocker. This thing, it's really the glue of the team. Me and Miguel were talking, and originally this slot was Claydol, this slot was Cobalion with the Sugar Berry or a Choice Scarf with HP Ice, this slot was Dugtrio, but we really feel that Rhydon was the glue of the team. Not only does it get up Stealth Rock, but it also stops him from spamming Volt Switch with his potential Specs Jolteon. Otherwise, he would be able to do that. That would be very annoying, especially with Rocks damage racking up. Of course, after a couple Combine Boost, Hard Body does not care. But yeah, this also gives me another Pincer check because I do not go down to +2 Earthquake, and I can knock it out with 2 Rock Blast hits. I have Avalanche because it's another Pokemon that Tornadus-T cannot switch into. Tornadus-T is a big threat to my team. Definitely a big threat to my team. It doesn't 2-hit KO most of my Pokemon if it's Choice Scarf Adamant, but it's still a big threat. It can't really switch into anything, and I wanted to keep that trend up. Originally, Miguel suggested Megahorn over Avalanche, but I thought that Avalanche was probably better just because it can actually OHKO at -1 Choice Scarf Tornadus-T. After it hits me with an Earthquake, Avalanche knocks it out. Get up my Stealth Rock. This prevents Jolteon from Volt Switching. I just ran max HP, max SPDF, no really custom spreads. They are, you know, obviously Fabio has like a custom spread, but the rest are just really straightforward. I wanted them to do what they had to do. Obviously this has a custom spread too, but this is just max. HP Ice from Choice Specs Jolteon is not a 2-hit KO on this thing. This makes him think twice about spamming Volt Switch, definitely. And it just gets rocks. It checks Skuntank, and or can switch into Skuntank with ease. It checks Jolteon, it checks Tornadus-T, and also checks Pincer. So, and Regirock. So these are like that's why I wanted to bring this right on. Get up rocks. Obviously, I'm not bringing any hazard control, but with recovery and rest, regenerator, magic guard, and more rest. Honestly, and then, you know, Weavile just having to come in when it needs to revenge kill something, or even a sweep late game with a Swords Dance. I don't feel like I need rocks. He doesn't have spike. I don't feel like I need a spinner. I didn't need Claydol this game. He doesn't have spikes on his team. All he has is Stealth Rock and potential. That's about it. Yeah, that's about it. All he has is Stealth Rock on his team. So yeah, it's gonna be the team right now. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed. The likes really do help my channel grow. Subscribe if you want, and stay tuned for the battle, which will be up tomorrow. We actually have not played yet as I am recording this. We'll be playing, I think, tomorrow. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so I think Thursday or Friday we will be playing. He just came back from somewhere, I think Seattle, or I'm not entirely sure, but or event or something. But yeah, definitely, you know, stay tuned for that battle. Definitely a hype battle. Will he stop my win streak, or will I go 7-0? That's you know, that's just how it is. I'm gonna do my best to win, of course. But I hope you guys all enjoyed, and yeah, until next time, guys. Later.